The Big Cheese, Ted Cheeseman, wins a 12-round unanimous decision over Asinia Byfield. Now, there's been somebody on my YouTube channel for several years, and also on my Patreon page, telling me about Asinia Byfield. I believe is that how you pronounce his name? Asinia? Yeah, Asinia Byfield. There's been somebody telling me about this guy for a long time. Have you seen Asinia Byfield? Have you seen Asinia Byfield? I don't know whether he's a friend of Asinia Byfield, somebody from who went to the same school as him, someone who's a fan. I don't know who he is, but and no disrespect to the guy, he might be watching, but he's been telling me about Asinia Byfield for a long time, banging the drum, and I'd never actually got round to looking at Asinia Byfield until this week, right? And I posted on my Facebook, in my Facebook boxing group, about Asinia Byfield, my thoughts on him. I saw a few of his fights, and to be honest, I wasn't impressed. And that's what I put on my Facebook page. I wasn't impressed with what I saw. He looks very awkward. Technically, he looks pretty awful. But maybe his awkwardness makes him effective. That's what I said, basically. But there was nothing I saw in Asinia Byfield this week in the few fights of his that I managed to watch. There was nothing I saw that led me to believe that Cheeseman was in any trouble. Cheeseman is a dark horse in British boxing. He's only 23 years old. He has been progressing steadily but quietly, stepping up his level of competition and winning in impressive fashion. Ted Cheeseman was an amateur at the famous Fitzroy Lodge gym in South London. And he's from Bermondsey, the same neighborhood as David Haye. And he's going from strength to strength. I was impressed. You look at his record here. I was impressed by the ease with which he took care of Carson Jones. Of course, Carson Jones is, I guess, a high-level journeyman. But for a young guy like a Ted Cheeseman, a prospect coming through, it's a very good measuring stick to show where you're at. Because Carson Jones famously has taken the undefeated record of many prospects throughout his career. So he is kind of a gatekeeper of sorts. And if you can get past the Carson Jones without any trouble, then that's a good tick, right, against your record. That's a good milestone to pass. So I was impressed with the way he dealt with Carson Jones. The Paulie Upton performance against the fellow unbeaten prospect, I was also impressed with that. The Paul Upton win. And now against Byfield, it was business as usual for Ted Cheeseman, the Big Cheese. What's another word they call him? Super Ted. It was business as usual. He's very physically strong, Ted Cheeseman. Heavy-handed. I don't think he's a dynamite, devastating puncher, but he's heavy-handed. He stays on you, and he stayed on Asinia Byfield. I don't want to say from the opening bell, because I think he had a little bit of a look at Byfield in the first round. He wasn't putting that much pressure on him. And Byfield looked pretty confident, you know, after the end of the first round. He probably felt like, yeah, I got this guy. But in the second round, Ted Cheeseman turned the temperature right up to boiling point. And from the second round, it appeared clear that Byfield was not going to be particularly competitive in this fight, because he looked very, very uncomfortable right away. As soon as Cheeseman was on his case with this relentless pressure, Byfield did not like it. And you could probably count on one hand the amount of clean power shots that Byfield landed in the whole fight. And that's testament to two things. Ted Cheeseman's defense maybe being a little underrated, but also Byfield's offense being pretty poor and unsophisticated. A combination of the two things. But be that as it may, very good performance by Ted Cheeseman. Took care of Asinia Byfield. Again, I'm not claiming to be a scholar on Byfield's career, but the little I saw of him in the week leading up to this fight, because when I went and had a look finally at his fights, I wasn't impressed with what I saw. I saw an awkward guy, a tough guy, but not a guy with any particular special talent or anything, you know. So I didn't see Cheeseman in any danger, either before the fight or during. So let me know what you feel in the comment section below. How far can Ted Cheeseman go? Can he go all the way? Win world titles? 154 pounds? Could you see a fight between Ted Cheeseman and Kell Brook at some time in the future? I know that's probably a long way off right now. Ted Cheeseman is only 15-0. Kell Brook is, you know, however many fights he's had. What, over 30 fights? Probably a little, you know, far-fetched at this point. But you never know. You never know. We might be sitting here in 2 years' time watching Ted Cheeseman versus Kell Brook. But yeah, so Anthony Fowler's obviously somebody who Ted Cheeseman's been talking about fighting. They've been talking about fighting each other. Maybe that's the obvious next step. Ted Cheeseman versus Anthony Fowler. A lot of people would like to see that. How do you think that fight would go if it did happen? And as I say, Ted Cheeseman is a dark horse of British boxing. Underrated by a lot of people. He has been plying his trade and learning his craft away from the limelight to a great extent. So, yeah. Let me know how you feel about Cheeseman's performance against Byfield and how far you think it can go. Alright, it's happening. I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.